The thick of things. Hello, everybody. Thanks for listening to another episode of Conversations with Rob. I got one of my favorite guests, so I'm happy to hear that he's running for the U.S. Senate right now against Shelley Moore Capito, and his name is Richard Ojeda. He ran for Congress in West Virginia in 2018, and you also might not just know him from there, but he also served our great country in Iraq and other places all over the country. But also he led that teachers strike that kind of affected the whole country because it led to a lot of strikes all over the country in West Virginia. So, Mr. Ojeda, thanks so much for your service, and also thanks so much for serving West Virginia and the country.
I appreciate it, man. I always a pleasure to come on here to your show, man.
All right. So let's get into the thing. You ran for Congress last time. You were ahead for pretty much the majority of the time. There was a little bit of hanky-panky toward the end with Trump calling you Ojeda and them running a lot of dirty ads with Carol Moore. What made you run for U.S. Senate instead of that seat again in Congress?
Well, first off, I was actually up by 7 points when Donald Trump come down here and called me the stone cold crazy wacko. My medical records were stolen from the Veterans Administration Hospital, and the guy that stole them is actually being sentenced tomorrow. So we believe he's going to end up doing some prison time over it, but there was a lot of things that they did. I ran for the U.S. After my congressional race, man, I filed to run for president. And, I've traveled all over. And the truth is that we desperately need to take back the Senate in this country. Right now, I think everybody can pretty much see, if you're paying any attention at all with what's going on, you can see how underhanded these people are. You have a person right now, Mitch McConnell, that desperately needs a thorn in his side, and nobody is better than that than I. That's a fact. And, I think that, I want to go to Washington, D.C. I want to help, flip the Senate. I want to be able to fight those hundreds of bills that have passed, the so-called do-nothing Congress that has passed hundreds of bills that are going to sit and die on Mitch McConnell's desk. And we don't have anybody. Shelley Moore Capito doesn't stand up for the people of West Virginia. I've never saw her in my hometown in my entire life. That's just the way that it is. And I think it's time to start standing up against those.
So, Mr. Ojeda, you brought up Kentucky. Now, I remember when you started your run for 2020 in the presidential campaign, you went down to Kentucky and did some radio and TV, some rallies down there. What's the sense? I know, that was a little while back, but what's the sense in Kentucky when you were down there about Mitch McConnell? Amy McGrath's running against him right now, a couple other candidates in the primary. What's the sense of the race down there from when you were down there talking to people?
Well, I will tell you that, first off, look at Matt Bevin just lost.
Right.
He lost his governor's seat to Andy Beshear Jr. And it tells us that, Democrats can win in those places, and that people in Kentucky are growing tired of these same elected officials that absolutely could care less about the poor, about the sick, the elderly, that want to attack unions and things of that nature. And I believe that, I think people in Kentucky are starting to realize, Mitch McConnell is the way that he is. He's a horrible human being. The only reason why the coal miners' pension bill was even pulled out from under, the desk drawer and actually passed was only because Andy Beshear beat Matt Bevin. And Mitch McConnell just realized for the first time Republicans in Kentucky are going to lose races. So he's decided, I'll go ahead and try to save my butt with the coal miners and pass this coal miners retirement pension bill. And that's the only reason why that bill come out. That's the only reason why Shelley Moore Capito voted for that, which, of course, coal miners in West Virginia are saying, hey, she stepped up to the plate. The truth is if she was really stepping up to the plate for the last 7 years, she would have been a thorn in McConnell's side saying, get this bill out and let it go as a clean bill. Let's pass it and give these coal miners their pensions. And that never happened. It only happened because Bevin got beat in Kentucky.
Right. So let's talk about, you ran for president for a brief period of time. You talked to a lot of voters in West Virginia in 2018 when you ran. As far as now running for Senate, what have you heard from the voters in West Virginia? We know you've been on the show before. You've talked about, pretty much there's no opportunity in West Virginia, in the area where you're from, and around the whole state. They pollute all the waters in the state. The coal jobs are going away. So what have you been hearing as the main issues around the state?
Well, I will tell you, we need more opportunities in West Virginia. Coal mines, Donald Trump didn't save the coal industry. He didn't. The 4 coal mines shut down in my hometown in December. A prep plant across the border in Domingo County shut down. Another coal mine shut down in McDowell County. And wasn't too long ago, you had the coal mine shut down in Wyoming County. Coal mining it's not coming back. Natural gas is taking over. But we still need more opportunities in West Virginia. We desperately need, to have those capabilities, because we are the only state that is absolutely hemorrhaging our people. We've lost over 100,000 citizens over the course of the last 7-8 years. We're getting ready to lose one of our 3rd congressional seats. Right now, in West Virginia, the Senate in West Virginia has just passed a bill basically saying that they want to ask Virginia to give us some of your counties. So think about that. Now, of course, the counties that they're looking for are, far red counties, because what the Republicans in West Virginia want is to build West Virginia, but also build it where it's Republicans, not Democrats. It's a tough state. This is a tough state to run in. And you know what? I'm going to run another race that they think is absolutely unwinnable, but I'm going to fight it. I'm going to fight it. I'm going to raise my voice. I'm going to let people know we deserve better. When I stood in front of those teachers and I said, I want to hear you say we are worthy, it's because we are. West Virginia has built this nation. West Virginia has defended this nation, and we deserve far better than what we get. But we can't get enough. We never can get people that are actually truly the ones that really care to step up to the plate. Because politics is so dirty. You got good people that could be phenomenal elected officials for these people around here, but they won't run because they don't want to be targeted. They don't want to be attacked. They don't want to be smeared. They don't want lies made up on them. That's just the way that it is. And look, I'm running for U.S. Senate, and I've been going through that forever. The lies that they've done and the underhanded tactics they've done to me are unacceptable. But, I'm going to continue fighting my battle.
Well, just what happened in your primary last time you ran in 2018, that was insanity itself.
Yeah.
But let's talk about, we'll get into Shelley Moore Capito in the next question, but first you're running the Democratic primary. There is Paula Jean Swearchin. She ran in against Joe Manchin last time in the primary, gave him a decent showing for a person that pretty much had no name recognition. What would be the differences between you and her, and why do you think you're a better candidate?
Paula Jean can't win. In an entire statewide race in West Virginia, when she ran against Joe Manchin, she got 45,000 votes.
Yeah.
I got 85,000 in just the southern portion of West Virginia. Make no mistake about it. I can beat Shelley Moore Capito. The moment that I finished signing my documentation and announcing, the Republican Party immediately put out a post calling me the Trump-hating tyrant. And the reason why that is because they want to start smearing me now, because they know that I can beat Shelley Moore Capito. They never said anything about Paula Jean Swearchin. And look, this is a free country. Just because you ran before don't mean you get a free shot this time. I believe that I can beat Shelley Moore Capito, and I know that it's going to be the fight of my life. That's a fact. But I don't think Paula Jean Swearchin has that capability. I know that the Democratic Party support me wholeheartedly in the state of West Virginia. Because once again, I think that they know that I do have the capability to actually win this.
All right, let's talk about the differences between Shelley Moore Capito. I'm in Florida right now. Obviously, you know her better than we do. Basically, what I've heard is she's basically a rubber stamp for Donald Trump. She was in a House seat before. She went to the Senate. Did she take Jay Rockefeller's seat? Was that the seat she went into? I don't remember, but regardless.
I'm not sure. I know that Bird's seat was taken by Manchin. And I'm not sure.
Regardless,
this is only her second run as a She's only done one full term as a U.S. senator. Shalimar Capito. She is absolutely the rubber stamp for the Republican Party. She will do whatever Trump wants her to do. She has voted against equal pay for men and women 5 times. We have, she's going to do this typical, right now it's election time. So now she's talking about the opioid epidemic. Where the hell have you been not just 6 years, because before she became a U.S. senator, she's been a member of Congress for over a decade. Where have you been, Shalimar Capito, when these drug companies have absolutely targeted our people and used our area as the lab? We were the lab rats for Big Pharma, and she never stood up and said nothing. But now that it's election time, she's going to talk. Right now, she's all like, I signed on and got the coal miners their pensions. Well, of course she would. But for the last 7 years, when those coal miners were going to Washington, D.C., and going to Ohio and going to St. Louis, Missouri, protesting, where was she at?
Right.
Nothing.
I agree 100%. She's been missing in action. So this is another question for you. In 2018, we talked about that. When Trump came down, calling you Ojeda, trying to put that the immigration target on you. They run smear ads. How are you going to stand up and fight against that this year when you run?
I think a lot of things have surfaced. Now we're starting to realize that all those people that attacked my military record, once again, one of them is going to be sentenced tomorrow, and he'll go to prison. But a lot of those people, one of the guys that was the loudest turned out to be he's been arrested. He was a sexual predator. We've got another guy. That's just how it is. That's how these people are. They attacked me, and the thing is they're the ones that are surfacing as being the liars. We had another one that said he was an Air Force guy with a Purple Heart, a Silver Star. It turned out he was a liar. The guy was he drove like a forklift in the Air Force.
Well, isn't it funny they do these guys like Trump and Bush and all these guys that run for political office? These guys are the ones that don't want to serve. They're trying to fight their way of how they can get out of it the easiest way. And then guys like you and, whether you like them or not, John Kerry that served, the country, and they've won all these medals like yourself and him. They make up all this propaganda, and it's a total joke. It's a farce.
Well, it is, and what's sad is that people fall for it. But once again, see, that's one of the problems that I have, is I live in southern West Virginia, and I will tell you that it is absolutely frustrating. I look at my phone every day and I turn it on and I'll start scrolling to see what's going on. And I will tell you that, 5 out of every 8 posts are somebody from down these places down here that are saying things that are absolutely untrue, that are trying, oh, Donald Trump is the only person who's ever cared about. Donald Trump has said that he's filing for re-election in the name of Jesus Christ. What do you mean? Right now in West Virginia, our governor, that piece of trash, vote for Donald Trump in the primary. It amazes me. I'm thinking to myself, well, then I tell you what, how about the Democrats do the same thing and put Jesus Christ on their ballot? And let's see what happens. You go for Donald Trump or Jesus Christ? But that's the way that they're doing it. It's absolutely, it's idiotic, but people fall for this stuff. It amazes me. They say, we want prayer in school, but no Islam. What are you going to do? These people, it amazes me. They fall for this bullshit.
Right. So I want to get into some foreign policy now, Mr. Ojeda, since you've been, you're pretty skilled in that area. So we saw a couple weeks back, Trump launched that missile in a sovereign country, which you've been to, in Iraq. He killed the Iranian general Soleimani, and you can, because you served there, I didn't, so you can correct me if I'm wrong. Soleimani was he wasn't a good man, but there was pictures of him with U.S. generals. There was pictures of him fighting ISIS in the region. What do you think of the action? I mean, I don't believe that was a good action to take, in my opinion. What's your take on it?
Well, first of all, the worst thing that come of that is that we now can say we lost the Iraqi war. When Iraq got together and basically voted to expel the United States of America out of Iraq, we officially lost the Iraqi war. We no longer can consider them to be an ally. We don't have that capability anymore. So basically what Donald Trump did was he lost that war for us, and I will tell you that I tell people all the time, think about that. What if Canada had an issue with somebody who happened to be in the United States of America and was boarding a plane in one of our airports, and all of a sudden all hell breaks loose, and we find out that Canada sent in missiles and destroyed killed a person on our soil, but we never knew about it. What do you think we would do? We would be absolutely livid. How dare you even think you can come into our airspace, But once again, that's exactly what, Donald Trump did. And then you have to wonder, why is Iraq so angered about this? Because they got no respect. They were completely, basically ignored when the right thing to do is, do the coordination. But it doesn't surprise me when you have Donald Trump calling the generals of the United States of America a bunch of babies. Yeah. I mean, here's a guy, he refuses to listen to anybody. He thinks that he's smarter than everybody, and he is absolutely not. But the thing that he has done that has been brilliant is he has figured out how to tap in to all of these people who never really used to vote. They used to sit on election day like, who cares? It's a day off work. Or they didn't even work.
Right.
But now they believe that Donald Trump's one of us, and they say, he's keeping those illegal aliens from coming here and taking our jobs. Well, the truth is that if you're worried about a person from Guatemala who doesn't speak English, has probably little to no education, coming to America and taking your job, then maybe you made some shitty decisions in your life, right?
Right. And what about all the legal immigrants that are working for all the Trump hotels?
Absolutely. And, and that's what gets me too. I went down and I stood in front of Mar-a-Lago when I was running for the presidency and waited for them people to come out and run me off. And they did, of course. And it was funny because I looked at the guy and I said, you do know that if you didn't work here, you would not be allowed to step on this ground. And that's the truth. To be a member at the Mar-a-Lago, I think Trump bumped it up. It used to be $250,000, but now I think it's $400,000. And that's what gets me is all these people out here. He's one of us, really? Then go try to play a round of golf on one of his resorts and see how tight you two are.
Well, it's a joke. But I want to get back into the foreign policy. But the thing that gets me is, as you saw, Trump trotted out all the generals behind him. They were standing there. And it was like a prop over there to make this guy that's a salesman, that's a total joke. And he's using the military to look tough. And he was the guy that had the bone spurs, didn't even want to go into the military.
You're going to find that when all this is said and done, these generals are all going to come out. Every one of them are going to probably retire and write their own books. Let me tell you something. I feel sorry for them. This is not the time to be a general officer in the United States military, because your commander-in-chief is about selling whatever to the highest bidder. Right now, what we did with the Kurds, we allowed them to be slaughtered. Yeah. There's nobody that is an ally of the United States of America right now can be sure that if they go stand shoulder to shoulder with the United States of America in the middle of a fight, that the United States of America won't pick up and leave them on the battlefield if somebody, shows Donald Trump something a little shiner. And the thing is, it's a reality. That's a reality. Just did it to the daggone Kurds. He did that to the Kurds because he's got business opportunities going on. He's got a daggone Trump Tower in I believe, in Istanbul. This was basically done for his own personal gain. And look at what he did. And I don't understand. To me, this is all criminal. It is all criminal. And we are watching it unfold, and nothing seems to be done. Nothing seems to be getting done. Because we've got a group of people on the Republican side that right now are absolutely refusing. They don't want to see the facts. And that, I'm telling you right now, that's going to be the downfall of this country. If we don't get control of this, it will be the downfall of this country.
Well, they're afraid because if they disrespect Trump, they're out. And that's
right. So they're going to continue following him no matter what he does. And the truth is that's what's going to destroy this country.
Right. Well, that's why we hope we get people like you in. But the War Powers Act really hasn't been, it's been pushed around in the Obama administration. They don't use it in now the Trump administration. Do you believe that? I mean, Trump doing this, that's an impeachable offense. We talk about all this Ukraine stuff, but him doing with all of his businesses, all the business dealings that he's done with the Saudis that are going into his hotel in D.C., this happening, that's impeachable offense. So
the next president of the United States is going to have to sit back while the members of Congress and the Senate completely revamp everything that belongs to the President of the United States of America. We're going to have to go through and put friggin' protections, fail-safe, things are going to have to go through so that in the event we ever find ourselves with another Donald Trump, this is the type of things that will be used to deal with that. Because right now we don't. And right now we have a madman at the wheel he wants a civil war. When you win a political office, when I become a West Virginia state senator, I fought for medical cannabis. I fought for medical cannabis for everybody, not just the Democrats. You see, Donald Trump still to this day, in 3 years into his presidency, still is all about down with the Democrats. Let's say 50% of this country is Democrats, and you want nothing but to destroy them. He's a friggin' idiot. I have nothing for him. I've got nothing for him. I think he is absolutely he will go down in history as the worst person to ever occupy that position, the most uneducated, the most uncaring. That's where he's going to be.
Well, he doesn't know the difference between the Kurds and the Quds. They brought up a thing that he was making fun of Obama, saying he was going to start a war. Obama was going to start a war before the election with Iran, and then he does the same thing in his presidency.
But the thing is he's like, but don't look over here, folks. Do as I say, not as I do. He's a horrible human being. Horrible human being.
Yeah. So if you do win for the Senate race, which I hope you do, you served in Iraq, Afghanistan, and you've been in Haiti and all over the pretty much the world. We have military bases all over the world. Some are not necessary. We see the military spending's going sky high every year, pumped up, where programs are not going into social programs in Florida and West Virginia, all over the country. As a senator, will you vote to produce a bill to get rid of some of these unnecessary military bases, and as Bernie Sanders and Tulsi Gabbard are talking about in the campaign, cut a lot of this military spending so we can spend it.
Why do we need to be 200 times better than everybody else?
Agreed.
Why? When you look at what we spent this year on the military, we could have ended world hunger. We could have ended the homelessness issue. How about being a president that does that? How about that being your legacy? Right now we've had presidents in the past, they're like unbuttered toast. What do they do? What do they not do? It is what it is. I'm not really fans with any of them. As far as I've been alive, I don't think there's anybody that makes me go, yes, that's the one. I don't know. I can remember, my mother and father, to them, JFK was everything. I can't see one person that's ever served as the president that I can look at and go, yes, he's the one. I can't. because we don't have anybody who has come in there and did what they could to help the world. You know, why not? Why not end world hunger? Why not end homelessness? Why not focus solely on making sure that everybody in this world has access to clean drinking water?
Yeah.
Why can't we do that? Why do we not have leaders that dedicate themselves to that?
Well, Obama conned us twice. I voted for the man twice. He had hope and change. He had a supermajority Democrats in the House and the Senate. Obamacare was a giveaway to the insurance companies. There was so much political capital that he had, and he didn't do anything. He failed us. So I agree with you. There was a lot of presidents with promise like Obama,
and that's why. And the truth is, they are responsible for what we have today. There's a reason why you have somebody like Donald Trump running for office and winning. There's a reason why, and Donald Trump, once again, figured out how to cater. People, he doesn't sound educated. He speaks the way we speak, because he's not educated, and because he's more willing to get into name calling with people than coming up with solutions. I mean, we are a laughing stock of the globe. I have traveled. I spent 28 days traveling across Europe 2 years ago. And that's all pretty much everybody that would speak to me that could understand my language would say, is he for real? Is this guy really your president? You guys voted for him? I mean, it's tough.
Well, neoliberalism created Donald Trump, and so Barack Obama, George Bush, and the rest of the gang did too. But I want to get into my last question on the military. We've seen the military-industrial complex when Trump ran, and he's a con artist and a liar. He said he was going to get us out of the wars. We're still in the wars. He said he was going to get us all, shut down all these bases. He still hasn't done any of that. He's been a pawn for Saudi Arabia and Israel. Do you feel like any president can do that, can really defeat the military-industrial complex?
I think so. I think you just have to get somebody in there that's willing to take a stand. It's always about, it has to be about what are you getting? What do you get from it? I mean, we know that people like Dick Cheney, I mean, you look at the types of money that those people make, the types of connections that they have. That's what it's all about. And it's a shame. When are we going to find somebody that's going to put the United States of America above all that? I'm sick and tired of watching us spend that kind of money. And I'm a retired military guy. I think that there's no reason why we can't cut some things in terms of defense to help this country. To do better for our citizens, because we're not going to struggle. We're not even going to feel it. We're doing things in other countries that we absolutely should not be doing. Why on earth do we have soldiers still in Afghanistan after we killed Osama bin Laden in May of 2010, and we're still over there, and we're still losing lives? And we're losing lives because our guys are over there standing on the side of a daggone road watching civilian contractors build roads while they're making billions of dollars. The United States of America, yours and my tax dollar, are paying to put people there to provide protection for those contracting companies. You know what? If the contracting companies want to have security, make their ass pay for their own security.
Right. That's true. And the Secretary of Defense was with Raytheon, so it's just the same circle.
Yeah, but that's the thing. It seems like everybody has. It's like, can we get somebody that isn't already in bed with somebody else?
Agreed, 100%. So I want to talk about West Virginia issues more now. We've seen in Minden, and you can I probably won't pronounce the name right, but Minden, West Virginia. And I was reading an article actually last night about this. In 1970, the population was 1,200. Now it's 250. A lot of people died off there because of cancer and health problems. A lot of it was because of the chemicals from the water. People are dying. The land is not worth anything.
Right.
You going into the Senate and hopefully winning this election, what are you going to do for people like that are in this? And this is just, this isn't.
I think that what has to happen is One of the biggest problems that we have in places like Minden and any place else is these companies in the past who have done these things, who have created these problems with PCBs and stuff like that. There's always a catch that they can use to get out of going back and cleaning up. It happens in mountaintop removal. It happens all over. It happens in all kinds of things. What happens is those companies that are doing those things, when they start, they have an agreement that says when they're done, they will go back and they will fix. But now they've been allowed to file for bankruptcy and walk away free and clear. So what they're doing is it's part of the scam. Is we come in, we make as much money as we can. When we start to see that we're not making as much as we're used to, then we just file for bankruptcy and we sneak out like a thief in the night, and the taxpayers will have to come and fix it, reclaim it. And that's what happens. You know, when you got things like Minden where you have 250 people and literally over 50% have some form of cancer. And this has been going on for a while. You know, one of the big reasons why, and I'll tell you, I don't care, one of the big reasons why a lot of people are against letting that story out the way that it should is because there's a resort down the road that brings a lot of money to that area, you know. But once again, you know, that's why they want to keep it all quiet. But I wouldn't want to, I'd want to know. I want to make sure that place is tested constantly so that the visitors coming from other places aren't, you know, in any danger, you know. And you know, I'm not saying that they are, they're not. I mean, I would say that they're probably not because there's probably things being done to protect that. But nothing's been done for Minden. You know, the people in Minden, you know, they should, the company that did that, I don't care that, you know, the main guy may have passed on, you know, but, you know, the family, they made lots of money. They should still have to ante up to clean up that problem.
So is this a lot because, sorry, is this a lot because of money in politics then, you feel like paying off the politicians to keep quiet?
Let me tell you something. Yes, it is. There's a big part of it. A lot of times politicians don't want to say certain things because they know that money comes into that area. And, you know, it's just right where I'm from. You know, I can remember one time where a person went to a local official and said, you know, there's a lot of coal dust getting on their houses in this neighborhood because of coal trucks. And basically, the guy was told, shut your mouth. Don't worry about it. You know, we get money from those coal trucks, and we do. You know, I mean, with coal. You know, coal. We've always gotten something. The counties get something for the coal severance and things like that. But that doesn't mean the companies should be allowed to just do what they want when they want, and then, you know, your elected officials tell you to shut up. And that's what goes on, and that goes on everywhere. That goes on in the area for Minden. Those people down there have been told to shut up many times.
So we've seen these issues. We talk about West Virginia with Minden and all over West Virginia in general. Michigan with Flint has water issues still going on from 2015. We see in New Jersey they're having water issues in New Jersey and Newark rather.
Need to be held accountable.
Right.
You know, let me tell you something. There is a lot that comes from someone being made an example. Yeah. And maybe that's what we need to do. Maybe we need to go in there and start lighting these people up that are caught doing these things.
But Mr. Ojeda, should these people be getting Medicare for all from the government? Because they've been put in these situations where, you know, you've talked about it with the companies coming in, they tell them to shut up. They have cancer issues. They have other medical issues. Yeah. They should be getting Medicare for all.
Well, I mean, you're talking to me. I want Medicare for all for everybody, period, no matter what. But yes, I mean, at a minimum, these people that are being, you know, exposed to these things, they shouldn't have to spend a damn dime on their medical care. You know, but then again, too, instead of it coming off of our tax dollars, how about we hold these companies responsible? That's the problem that we have, you know. And when you go back and you listen to stories of the past, you know, there was it was chemical testing that had to be done on people in West Virginia, where the reason why it happened is because a train full of chemicals derailed.
Right.
And it happened to do so right there next to a small little grade school.
Wow.
And all these chemicals went around these kids, and these are deadly chemicals, and what they did was they said, okay, all these kids that were going to school there, every year they had to go and they had to get tested. And if the testing found that the kids, were found that there was an illness, then that company had to pay for the treatment for that child. Money had to be put into an account by that company that owned those chemicals that spilled around that school. And that was a perfect scenario. That was the way it should do. But guess what? When I was a state senator, they voted to finally get rid of that capability. Why would you do that? Why would you do that? And the reason why you do that is because these chemical companies want to come in here and do what they want. And the last thing they want to do when they know they're going to do things that are probably illegal is have to stand up and ante up for the things that they do wrong. When we had the water towers in Charleston, West Virginia, when the poisons leaked into the water, the 400,000 citizens in West Virginia lost their water for like a month. One of the first damn things Carol Miller, the woman who beat me for daggone Congress, one of the first things they did was ran straight to the Capitol and wrote legislations basically saying they're not going to be held responsible for anything. And yet, you know what? People still reelect these friggin' jackasses. And that's why I fight my battles. I fight my battles, even if I know it's impossible to win. I'm going to fight my battles. I don't give a shit. I'm not going to give nobody no easy ride when they ain't done a damn thing for us. I'm going to go after Shelley Moore Capito, and I'm going to absolutely expose her for who she truly is. I'm going to absolutely outwork her. I'm going to make her, for the first time, hate friggin' life in a damn election.
I think she'll be scared to debate you. That's what I think.
Well, I'll be ready. I'll be ready.
All right. So we saw Joe Biden a couple weeks ago, and we've seen this from the same sort of issue with Hillary Clinton, saying they talk about coal jobs going away, and Joe Biden, Hillary Clinton, the same thing. Oh, well, they'll have to find something else to do. That's not the correct answer. Why do these guys keep saying this? And for the people that are losing their coal jobs, as you said, Donald Trump is shutting down the coal mines, even though he's fabricating and lying, saying he's building more, got more coal jobs. What would you do to, get these guys another job? Or
I'm not going to blow smoke up their backsides, for one. I'm not going to stand in front of coal miners and say, coal will be king. I'm not going to do it. I'm not going to. Guess what? The reason why coal jobs are going away, and this is why let's just be honest. What used to take 500 miners with a pick and a damn shovel, what used to take them friggin' 6 months to do, now a team of 12 guys and a continuous miner can do in 2 days. Okay? So technology has been also an enemy to the coal industry. That's a fact. Okay? Now, there's other things also, in terms of coal. Natural gas. Natural gas can do exactly what coal does. Okay? Only difference is that natural gas is a lot cheaper, and it's easier to get. So therefore, that's why coal is daggone sucking. We've got to bring opportunities into this state so that coal miners can transition. A coal miner is usually also a welder, a mechanic, an equipment operator, or electrician, something like that. Those are the kinds of things we need to look for when bringing opportunities into West Virginia, so that we can allow that welder to go to work and do something. We can allow that electrician to go to work and do something. And now they can make, I'm talking about making jobs that make maybe $65,000 a year, and you can take care of your family, and you're no longer going underground risking your life.
But what they're going to say is, because you're running as a Democrat, is they're going to start saying, you want the Green New Deal, you want to cut all these.
And you think I care?
Yeah.
You think I care about you want to build solar panels here? Build them. Let's hire some of these coal miners that don't have a job right now because they need a job. You can say, I'm not going to blow smoke up anybody's asses. I'm not going to do it. I don't care. The coal miners, I've always fought for coal miners. Always. They've never supported me. And the reason why is because I'm not going to stand in front of them and say, I'm going to bring back coal, because I can't bring back coal, and nobody's going to bring back coal. Donald Trump didn't bring back coal. The coal mines are shutting down everywhere. The people in Ohio in the auto industry aren't working their asses off like he said they were. Huh? How many times are we bailing out farmers again? And oh, by the way, no socialism. But hey, here, farmers, here's some more money. It's
and
all
socialism for the rich too.
That's right. That's right. They don't want no socialism for the poor, but the rich, it's okay.
Yeah. So let me get your opinion on a few issues before we end the interview. What is your opinion on this impeachment trial? As I told you, I feel like this impeachment, yes, that wasn't right what he did to Joe Biden, but there's bigger issues that are really correct where we could get them as far as, you look at, we talked about the business deals, the Saudi Arabia deals with Israel. I mean,
this is corruption. It's corruption across the board. Problem is that we have a group of people that are willing to sell their soul. They don't care what will your legacy be. There was a time when this country looked at Rudy Giuliani as America's mayor. He was an inspiration to us all when those towers fell. And now, how will Rudy Giuliani be remembered? As nothing more than a little ferret, a little worm, a little bootlicker. Lindsey Graham, same way. It amazes me, the things that we see that's going on. But the thing is the Republicans, they refuse to allow people to come and testify in front of Congress, which is a crime. And yet now we're over in the Senate, and the senators are screaming, well, we don't have enough people that were witnesses. Because, it's such a dirty game. But the problem is we have a significant amount of people who don't know no better, who didn't pay attention, who don't read nothing, that are now going, yeah, where's all the people testifying? They don't know better, because the truth is they don't want to pay attention.
Isn't it funny?
Trump 2020.
Isn't it funny? Lindsey Graham used to talk about all this junk about Trump. He supported Jeb Bush.
He's a bootlicker. Yeah. He's a bootlicker. I tell everybody.
How about Mitt Romney? Remember Romney went out to the dinner with Trump. Trump was going to put him as Secretary of State. Yep. Trump made him look like a fool, and now he's kissing Trump's ass. And
dude. That's the thing. Let me tell you something. Our country, we can fall. Yeah. They are destroying this country from within. And that's why people better freaking go to the polls. And make no mistake about it, your Trumpsters are going to go to the polls. Every damn Trumpster. And it's a thing. I got people around here and never voted a day in their damn life. But they vote now for Trump because he's just like them. Really. You can't afford to be a member on his and play a game of golf at his resort. But he's like you. He's never worked a day in his life, but he's like you, who's worked your whole life off. You're dying because you got black lung and all that stuff. Yeah. But yet Trump's like you. Trump figured out how to dupe all these people.
Master manipulator.
One of these days, they're all going to. There's going to come a time when you're never going to see another red Trump hat. They're going to be burned. They're going to be hidden. It's because that's going to be looked at in the same light as a swastika.
Right. No, it's the big, massive deception that Trump's made. So this is the thing that I'm worried about with the Trump, with the impeachment, that it's, as you just said, that it's going to bring out and fire up the base, as you said, people that never voted in their life. And you put up some guy, and I'm a Bernie guy, you put up some guy like Joe Biden, which he can go at him with, whether it's true or not, with all this corruption, the crime bill, NAFTA, all these bills, same thing you did with Hillary Clinton. You put up somebody like Elizabeth Warren, the Native American thing. She said about the pregnancy, she got fired because she was pregnant. They came out that wasn't true. You put up these people that have fabricated stuff in the past, and Trump's got that base out. The black people sit out, and Trump wins again. And that's what I'm worried about. What do you feel about that?
I think you're absolutely right. I think everything you just said is spot on true. I mean, that's why it's important. We got to make sure not one single daggone Democrat can sit at the poll, can sit at home on election day. I personally think that we need to do away with the electoral college. I mean, it's given us two races that were actually won by the popular vote. Al Gore won the popular vote. Hillary won the popular vote. I'm no fan of Hillary, and I'm no fan of Al Gore.
Right.
But once again, I mean, to me, that's the way elections should be. The majority wins. But I mean, I'll tell you right now, it's just, I hope Republicans are waking up. I really do. I really do. I hope farmers are waking up. I hope that the auto industry folks are waking up. I hope that the correctional officers are waking up. I hope that the teachers are waking up. I hope that the coal industry folks are waking up. Because if you continue going down this path, they're these people that are screaming, they're Trump 2020. They don't realize they're the ones that are going to be hurt the most. Yeah. They're the ones that are going to be hurt worst. That's just the way that it is.
Well, they say the economy's kicking in, and I know you've seen
No. Yeah. First and foremost, 95% of the people in this country don't play the stock market. Minimum wage has sat stagnant for 10 years. The average wages of people have been stagnant for years. The only people that are seeing benefit is the top 1%. And right now you've got the bottom fighting for the rich. I got guys that live in a single wide trailer that looks like it's ready to fall off the mountain. It's rusted. I mean, nothing against home. But I'm talking about a guy who lives in a place that literally looks like you would die of lung off. You scratch yourself if you walk through the front door. The guy's got nothing. But yet, Trump, what the hell has he done for you? Right, nothing.
Well, Mr. Ojeda, they act like $15 an hour is like you're making $300,000 a year. I mean?
The thing about it is that, see, that's the thing, is that they've also got these people at the bottom to fight their battles. It's genius. You got people down here that are making friggin' $7.25 an hour saying, if you raise minimum wage, the businesses will go away. Dude, you're the one that's going to get that raise. You're the one that makes minimum wage. And oh, by the way, you have to do the minimum wage fight differently across the country. There's no such thing as don't go straight to $15 an hour because you will run people off. But what you do is you do it in increments. You go from $7.95 to $10, and then watch. Because what happens is, and this has been done, places where the minimum wage has went up in increments, well, those people have realized you can do it and not have to close your business. Because the more money people have, the more money people spend. Rich people shove it in daggone mattresses and offshore accounts, but people like you and me spend it in the economy. So when you start giving people raises, people have more money to come back into your store and spend money. And then it all evens out.
Let's talk about this. You look at West Virginia in the 90s in presidential elections and in, Senate, House elections, all Democratic. You look at from 2000, it seems, especially in the presidential, from 2000 on, the Democrats are getting killed in West Virginia. They really are starting to lose seats. There's not a lot of Democrats. What has the Democratic Party done so poorly in West Virginia?
Well, first off, we haven't been truly active, and that's the problem. Democrats controlled West Virginia for 88 years.
Right.
And they make no mistake about it. The reason why the Democrats lost was because they were horrible, crooked, lying, thieving, cheating bastards. That's what they were. My biggest fights have been against Democrats. I took on the longest standing member of Congress at one time. Why? Because he never come down to my hometown except to come down here and take photographs with the three biggest crooks while he wrote them checks and disappeared. And those checks were all about using that money to grease some people's pockets to get him elected again. And that's all it was. Didn't do nothing for us down here. The reason why the Democratic Party lost is because they sucked. Only problem is now we've got these Republicans that have come in, and they've done more damage in the last 6 years, in the last 6 to 8 years, than the Democrats did in 88 years. And the problem is people they got somebody. West Virginia struggles. But right now, everybody in the state of West Virginia that's a political person as a Republican is using Donald Trump. Donald Trump, you're a liar, you're a thief, but Donald Trump loves you. So, and you're running on Donald Trump's ticket, so everybody's going to vote for you. And that's the problem that we have today. That's the problem that we have today. I mean, once again, remember, look at this. It cracks me up. Donald Trump just filed for re-election in the name of Jesus Christ. Really? Really? Yeah. How do you do that? How do you file for office in the name of Jesus Christ? How do you do that? But once again, it's these people. They fall for that shit. You know, it's the whole thing. I saw this. You know, it's a shame Donald Trump's been a president for almost 4 years, and they've attacked him the whole time. Really? Really? Because the truth is his first 2 years as a president, the House and Senate were Republican. He could have passed everything. Abortion? Really? Really? Because tell me something. If Donald Trump controlled the House and the Senate, then why didn't he make abortion illegal? Because the Republicans don't want it to be illegal. Because if the Republicans don't have abortion on every single damn election, they're not going to win. Well, they use that. They don't care about kids. They cut the programs to feed the kids, to clothe the kids, to educate the kids. They only care about the child as it's in the belly. Once the child is born, they can give two shits about that child.
That's right. I'll tell you what, though I am worried, though, about all the judges that have went through the Trump administration. They've been really pushing all those judges, and you talk about abortion.
That's right. That's right.
That's
Look,
scary.
It's going to happen. It's going to happen. But it's going to be done. The bad part about it is it's happening at the lower levels. The lower levels are the ones that's going to do it. It's not going to be the people at the top. Trump's not going to do it. Because if he wanted to, he would have already done it. But that's the thing is we have to educate people and say, really? Really? Because the truth is this. I mean, it kills me. It drives me crazy. They've attacked him because they won't let him get nothing done. His first 2 years, he could have passed everything.
He got a lot done. I think he got a lot done. He got all those judges in. He got a tax scam for the richest people.
Yes, he did. But that's the thing is he did shit for him and his base.
That's right.
The poor people he do nothing for.
Yeah, they screwed up Obamacare even worse than it was. So they did a lot of bad stuff.
Lower regulations on water. Let me tell you something. When you sign a bill to lower your regulations on drinking water, all you're doing is saying, hey, you companies out there that just greased my pockets, you can now start dumping. That's what it means.
Yep, you're right. That Dakota Access Pipeline, Keystone, proved all that stuff. So it's really sad. So he's done a lot of damage, that is. But you know, you talked about all these Trump people in West Virginia. I see them in Florida too. Same stuff you're saying. How do we win these people back? Because they seem like they're so brainwashed by this reality TV show host. How do we get these people in a good mental mindset? Can we even win these people back? Are they even able to get back?
Here's the deal. We're going to win everybody back. Sadly, you know, I'm hoping that it comes quicker than I expect. But let me just tell you, Donald Trump, if he wins again and we get another 4 years of Donald Trump, let me tell you something. When he's done, it's going to take decades to get back on our feet. And let me tell you something. These people that have been out there supporting him, they're the ones that are going to feel it the worst. And we have to hope we can fix it before that happens. But there's a possibility that, you know, first we have to absolutely go to rock bottom before we can finally get our heads out of our asses and start doing right again.
But you know he's going to come to West Virginia, and you know that Shelley Moore Capital is going to use them. So how are you going to get these people that are just brainwashed to like them to vote for you when you're the real person that's fighting for them, not Shelley Moore Capital, who's been, like you said, sitting in Congress, didn't do anything there, sitting in the Senate just to rub a stamp.
Well, I just have to hope. I have to hope that people wake up. I have to hope that people say, you know what, maybe we need somebody in Washington, D.C. that can be a thorn in somebody's side. I don't care. I'm not scared to grab that microphone and light into somebody. I don't care. I'm not scared of that. I think we need to have some people like that. Right now, all we got is a bunch of damn puppets, a bunch of liars and thieves. You know, it amazes me. Oh, look at all the money they're spending on impeaching Trump. How much did they spend on this bullshit with Hillary Clinton that produced nothing? Nothing.
Benghazi.
Craig Gowdy, you little worm, you know, bunch of worms. Nothing. It was all a show.
2 years on Benghazi didn't do anything.
Right, exactly.
Yeah. But the last two questions, we talked about the Democratic primary, Bernie Sanders. What is your opinion of the primary so far? We've seen the New York Times just came out, endorsed Elizabeth Warren and Amy Klobuchar. I think that they're really out of the mainstream with those endorsements. Bernie won every county in West Virginia last time he ran over there. Is Bernie going to run the table again? I mean, he's up in the polls.
I think he can. I think he can. I really do believe that he can. You know, I think him. I think Andrew Yang is a force to be reckoned with. I think that it's going to come down to Bernie picking his VP. Don't count out Joe Biden. I mean, let me tell you something. I know that it seems like everywhere he goes, he opens his mouth and he sticks his foot in it. But you see that he also still finds himself going strong. You know, Joe Biden has, you know, with him and President Obama, their relationship for 8 years, I will tell you, Joe Biden is still very strong. You know, but I will tell you that, you know, I'm going to vote anybody that wins. I will vote whoever wins. I will vote, donate, make phone calls. I will do whatever I can. When I'm campaigning in the daggone general election, I'll be campaigning for them as well. Because at the end of the day, we deserve better. You know, I tell people all the time, I'm writing a book now, and it's called We Are Worthy, The Fight for the Forgotten. And
when
each
is
chapter,
that coming out?
Well, I mean, we're hoping. It's right now in the hands of the people that are taking it to the publishing companies, but I'm hoping to get it out before May in hardback. So, you know, I mean, but once again, it's really just talking about the groups of people who have been forgotten. And the truth is, it's all of us. It's teachers, it's first responders, it's minimum wage workers.
What about all the veterans? They're all on the street now. Thousands of veterans.
Homeless. It's the veterans. It's the union members. Yeah. It's minors. You know, all these people, the elderly, the disabled, all of these people are being forgotten today in our society. All of us are. And the thing is nobody's stepping up and saying, hey, how about putting these people on the damn docket for once? Let's start standing up for them. Nobody does that, you know. And I'm telling you right now, if we don't get our head out of our ass, it's going to take a long time. It's going to take a long time for us to recover.
Will Bernie win the West Virginia primary again?
I would think that, yeah, I think Bernie will win it. I mean, you know, like I said, he won all 55 counties, but we just have to hope that, you know, the Democratic Party does right, you know. What they did in West Virginia was one of the reasons why most of us supported Trump, was that, you know, you voted for Bernie Sanders and then the Democratic Party said Hillary Clinton when everybody knew Bernie won all 55 counties. That was like, what that said was, you just stole our votes for Bernie and you gave them to her. Why her? You know, we didn't vote for her, but you gave her our votes. That's bullshit. And that right there is what caused a lot of people that said no.
Sorry to interrupt you, but they did that all over the country. They did that. I'm originally from Rhode Island. The two senators backed Hillary Clinton when Bernie won Rhode Island by 10 points.
And that's why those two senators need to be held. Their feet need to be held to the fire. I vote them out. I ran against them.
Well, we hope that you'll win the election you're in. Mr. Ojeda, where can people find more about you? And your last message for the people in Florida and all around the country that are listening to this.
Well, they can go to Vote Ojeda 2020. Find me on Twitter. I got a YouTube page. I'm on Facebook. Go to my Facebook page. Please like and follow me there. You know, I will tell you that we cannot allow anyone to miss Election Day. You know, you're down in Florida. You're down in Florida right now. In Puerto Rico, they just had another earthquake.
Right.
They still haven't recovered from the hurricane. People have been struggling down in Puerto Rico. Our president has done nothing but throw shade at those amazing people down there that are struggling. Florida has a large population of Puerto Ricans. Not one single Puerto Rican should skip election day, and every single one of them should make it a point to go to the ballot box to vote against Donald Trump.
Hopefully they do, and I hope that people in West Virginia vote for you, because not only are you a true patriot and serving the country, but you're people that we need. As you said, somebody that goes up there and tells the truth, walks the walk and talks the talk. Got all these politicians that are up there in the House and the Senate. They just, besides Bernie and Tulsi Gabbard, like you said, Andrew Yang, he's not in political office, but these guys are the ones that are telling the voters how it is. They're not BSing, and that's what we need, more people like you and them.
Well, I appreciate it, man. I really do. I appreciate you letting me come on your show. And I ask everybody, go check me out. Check out my page. Watch my videos. Help me out.
All right, Mr. Ojeda, thanks so much, and we'll talk to you down the road. Appreciate the time as always. You're a great man.
Thanks, brother. Airborne.
Thank you.
Out here.
All right, bye-bye.